most sides. If they don't play well, chances are they're going to lose, you know. But and only maybe South Africa and New Zealand can play 50% of the time and win games. Ireland have to perform today.
There's some serious firecrackers here to welcome Ireland onto the field for this opening match of this year's Six Nations here at the Aviva Stadium. The players are out obviously a lot earlier here than almost every other match because there are all the formalities to take place here. The presidential salute that's going to take place in just a moment or so, and we obviously have 3 anthems to come up. But as Brian O'Driscoll lines up for his 129th cap for Ireland, when you first saw him as a callow youth, did you think there's something special here? Could you tell even then?
The first time I met him, I thought he was totally out of place and had no business being there. And then I saw him in a rugby jersey on the training field, and he blew everybody away. He had something about him, a touch of magic about him, an ability that I'd never seen before.
I think he's been a brilliant player, and you look at his physique when he started off, he had pace, guile, his balance, and then he's adapted as the modern game has changed, and he has been a standout player in the Northern Hemisphere ever since he started.
Well, the announcement taking place behind us for the presidential salute, Pat Fitzgerald, the president of the Irish Rugby Union, alongside Michael D. Higgins, the 9th president of Ireland. I was reading earlier on about Michael D. Higgins, who's a poet by inclination, but a sports fan as well, who's a regular at Galway races and a former president of Galway United Football Club, but by his own admission now a real rugby fan as well. So he's meeting the players now. As we talk to our guys who are up in the commentary box, Chris Patterson and Phil Matthews. Hi, guys.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Phil, I overheard a conversation that you were having earlier on about the sort of the repercussions and the aftermath of that All Blacks game. Where do you put this Irish team at the moment?
Well, I think by the end of the day I'll probably give you a better answer. I think that it's a testament to the All Blacks that it takes the All Blacks to bring a performance like that. I'm not sure there's any other team in World Rugby that could have produced, if you like, that performance out of Ireland. And I think today we'll see whether Joe Schmidt's detail and the Schmidt's way has really embedded itself in this Irish side, because the accuracy that's going to be required and the intensity without Paul O'Connell, it's going to be a big ask today.
And Chris, we can see the Irish president meeting all the Scottish players there, and as a former fullback, albeit utility player, but a great fullback yourself, how important is Stuart Hogg, and a returning Stuart Hogg and a Stuart Hogg in form? How important is he for Scotland?
He's very important. He's the one guy who can spark a game out of absolutely nothing. He's alongside a big backline for Scotland today. Sean Lamont will carry the ball hard, Alex Dunbar and Duncan Taylor, both big midfield players, but you need that little bit of magic, that little bit something different to beat international defences, and Stuart Hogg has that. And if he's on fire today, he can launch a lot for Scotland and hopefully score some points.
Sometimes, Chris, we overplay the importance of coaches, I think, but how strange must it be for Scotland knowing that Scott Johnson's there for a finite period and they're almost just waiting for a messiah, Vern Cotter, to come in a few months' time?
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, I've said this before and I'll say it again, that there has been communication, and I know there's been communication between Scott Johnson and Vern Cotter. He's been appointed, I think, since last May, so there's been communication all through the autumn internationals and will be through the Six Nations. But ultimately it's about today. It's about Scott Johnson getting his players ready for this massive match against Ireland this afternoon, and they have to deliver. As he said in the VT, there's no excuses. A beautiful day. I mean, most of the times I played here it was windy and rainy, and I'm just so jealous sitting here looking out on a glorious sunny day in Dublin.
And Keith, one final word to you, because somebody we haven't mentioned at all, although we saw him in action at the start of the programme, Gordon Darcy, who's been left out today. What do you make of the mix in the midfield for Ireland?
Yeah, I think if you looked at Luke Marshall last year when he got his chance, he did incredibly well. He had a series of concussions which were very frightening to watch, but he's been back to full form. But he had the spark. His movement off from foot to foot is far more aggressive than Gordon Darcy's is, which is a little bit more lateral, and I actually think he gives a little bit more space to Brian O'Driscoll outside him.
The one player we haven't mentioned a lot of is Sean O'Brien. It'll be amazing to see how much he'll be missed, because they have to ball carry. He does a lot of ball carrying for Ireland.
O'Brien and O'Connell missing for Ireland. So the players lining up for the anthems, and after this we'll have the final match of this opening weekend of this year's RBS Six Nations Championship in the company of Philip Matthews, Chris Patterson and Andrew Cotter.
It's been a long time to wait for Ireland, a long time to fester and stew after the late fall against the All Blacks, but the opening game in this year's Six Nations finally arrives for them and for Scotland. The home side looking for consistency now under new coach Joe Schmidt. He wants that performance against New Zealand in every game. This is his selection today. In the forwards, of course, that big late change. Captain Paul O'Connell out with a chest infection. Ulster's Dan Tui comes into the second row. The earlier loss of Sean O'Brien will also be felt. He's replaced by a true open side in Ulster's Chris Henry. Heaslip captains the side. In the backs, the old and the new in midfield. O'Driscoll partnered by Luke Marshall. No Zebo or Tommy Bowe in the wings. Andrew Trimble and Dave Carney filling in. Carney, the elder Rob at fullback, says he's liberated by the coaching of Joe Schmidt. For Scotland in the pack, Tim Swinson gets that first taste of the Six Nations at lock alongside Jim Hamilton. The interesting choice in the back row. Ryan Wilson gets the nod at blindside, one of 9 Glasgow players in the lineup. And in the backs, Duncan Weir given the fly half role. A new centre partnership with Saracens' Duncan Taylor and Alex Dunbar, also experiencing this competition for the first time. On the bench, Leinster tight head Marty Moore should make his debut for Ireland. Strong replacements for Scotland: Gray, Beattie, Custer, Scott, Evans, all waiting. And the referee for this one, having a secret word with Duncan Weir, is Craig Joubert, the South African. So it will be Scotland to get us underway here. Some fluffy clouds above blue sky, above full stadium below. And we are just about ready for the final game on the first weekend of the 2014 RBS Six Nations. Who will claim the third victory following Wales against Italy and that late victory for France against England. We're all set and the whistle blows and to roar we begin at Lansdowne Road, the Aviva Stadium, taken in by Dave Carney on the wing. And a touch for Sexton and then carried by Peter O'Mahony. And Sexton just gets that kick away beyond Ryan Wilson, and waiting for it and taking it well is Hogg. Carried in by Brown, and Scotland with the first chance for the backs. Pacey backs in Maitland.
7.
Carried now by Ross Ford. Bit of support from Denton.
Fun.
Now taken by Ryan Grant. Bit of early continuity for Scotland. There is Swinson, gives it to his second row brother Jim Hamilton. On Weir's kick, slapped down by Chris Henry, right in front of him. Still comes back Scotland's way.
Use it.
Denton. Scotland with all this ball, just poking around side to side at the moment, not making too much ground. And again, and Ford carries it in. Just being smothered between the 10-metre line and halfway, Scotland. Weird again. Delays that pass a little bit, and Hogg. Scotland finding a little bit of space now. Confident carrying early on. Maitland takes it in. Now they are beginning to make a bit of progress. There this time is Murray Lowe. Seeing advantage of the good conditions here. Good handling early on. And Hogg tries to go. There's Kelly Brown, held by one leg, and Hogg again in, looking for plenty of ball in the early exchanges. Up to the 22 comes Scotland. A roar from their supporters as Denton carries. Good early play from the visitors. And still they come. Lament with that trademark strength. A penalty though to Ireland. It all ends phase after phase. Well, very promising from Scotland, but good defence from Ireland.
It was patience by both teams, patience in defence, but patience by Scotland as well. And one of the criticisms you might have had over the past couple of years from Scotland was maybe a lack of composure on the ball, but they showed a lot of composure there. Didn't panic, didn't look for a one-off play when nothing was really coming through. Just unfortunately turned the ball over there with the penalty. But it's interesting from John Sexton not going to the line out from the kickoff. I sense there's going to be a slight change in tactics without Paul O'Connell. I don't expect Ireland really to be played too much to the line out, because one of the things that Scotland will want to do is try and dismantle this Irish line out.
Saw Henry getting the plaudits from his teammates. We talked about Sean O'Brien being that big loss, but he does secure a high number of turnovers. Chris Henry for Ulster. That's what Ireland have been going to in their lineouts in recent games. There's Marshall, had to take that one and make the best of it. So it's Ireland's chance to try and string a phase or two, and maybe more together. And power there from Dan Tui, taking his chance. A step from Cian Healy back inside. And Marshall again. Oh, well met by Denton, and alongside him Duncan Taylor. And penalty this time to Scotland, and this time it is the Scottish players, and this time it's Chris Henry gives away the penalty.
Don't run in.
Yeah, again, Scotland carrying the ball particularly hard in defence and winning that penalty. You see Luke Marshall, his first touch last year against Scotland in his opening cap was a clean break. That time he's hit hard with Duncan Taylor, Dave Denton, and then Murray Lowe making a nuisance of himself to break down and winning a penalty, and an opportunity for Greg Laidlaw.
Well, two very candid coaches at the start of the game. Scott Johnson highlighted the contact area as key for them, and you could really see it there. But both sides really concentrating on those first up tackles.
It's Strukosh, the water carrier today. The scariest water carrier I've ever seen.
I think I'd take a drink if you were it.
Well, from just beyond the 10-metre line, so quite stretching things on a calmish day like this for Laidlaw, but he's the biggest boot. And on that occasion, not quite the straightest. Decent effort from Laidlaw, but no early three-pointer for him. And so the Lansdowne Road crowd responds to that and tries to lift the home side. Long thump from Sexton. Hogg takes it. Taken comfortably enough by Sexton, and Lamont takes him into touch. Quickly taken by Lamont. Deep it comes to Weir, a bit of space out wide for Scotland, and Hogg goes through the middle, offloads well to Weir. Weir now looking for support into the 22 again. Ball is out and turnover. Ireland have it. Owen Carney is kick a little bit of a slice, so Scotland will have the line out on this side, just about where the line out was on the other side. But again, the early signs of some invention and effort from Scotland.
Yeah, quick line. Sean Lamont allowed Jonathan Sexton to catch a high ball and bundled him at the touch, stripped the ball and to take the quick tap to allow Stuart Hogg getting into the game. And I say Peter O'Mahony, strong on his feet, wins a turnover for Ireland.
Well, again, real positive intent from Scotland. That's what they got to do. They got to get some pace into this game and not let Ireland settle into any kind of pattern.
Well, it's a long and rather loose line out, just a little bit too long beyond Ryan Wilson. So Scotland's line out misfires. They did a little bit in November as well. And Hogg leaps high for this one. He's been busy in the early exchanges. Shoved back there by Marshall, and Ireland pouring over to secure that ball, and they have it. So from Scotland's line out, here come Ireland. Carney, again the crowd rises. Heaslip. Ireland with their first real attack up to the 22. Cian Healy hit by the Blue Sharks well. So Murray gives it to Sexton, little poke forward, and it comes to Hogg, who scoops it up and out to the angle. It'll be Ireland's line out inside the 22.
Well, first visit to the Scottish 22 for Ireland, and again it came through a positive kick and a good, very, very good chase. One of the features of the New Zealand game was the intensity, but also the kick chase. Really important for both teams today. Ireland had men over there.
They still have this position here. Rory Best, scorer of that try against New Zealand, early try, and then broke his arm in that match. Gives it to Devon Toner. Easy giant to hit. And still they try and keep it up and roll it forward.
Use it once.
And here they come. with a mighty heave and drive up to within 5 metres. 4 metres, getting closer, bearing down on the Scottish line. The try, calling for them, Murray looking for it. The forward still in there, over the line. But no, not yet. So close, Ireland. And still held in there. Scottish defence frantically rearranging, and Scotland have the scrum lost forward, says Craig Joubert.
Well, I'm not sure whether there was enough urgency from Ireland really to get the ball back into an Irish hand.
Collapse small. I understand that part. So Blue 8, no obligation to have to roll away. It's collapse small, turnover scrum.
No problem with that. Just watch the top.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Let's go, boys!
Well, Scotland spared there, but that's a rolling maul from Ireland. Driving maul, very, very impressive.
It's a big statement for Ireland earlier on in the game, isn't it?
Yes, it was a collapse maul, which meant that Joubert had no option. As he's explaining to Peter O'Mahony, there should have been the urgency there from Ireland just to get that ball into Irish hands.
Shoulder out. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Well, Joe Schmidt watches with the rest of us the first scrum of the match.
Crouch! Stand up, please. The gap is too big, guys. We're going to come closer together, please. Okay, hookers, can you come up to the mark and left? Thank you.
Well, it's a big scrum, but again, we hope it's just a good, honest, competitive scrum that ends with the ball coming out some way.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Well, Cian Healy complaining as Scotland drive through him.
Hey. Okay. Come back to the 5. So loose head, I want you outside, please. Outside, you the loose head.
Well, what Cian Healy was complaining about there was that Rory Lowe was trying to step outside him.
We love scrums.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Things we do and they work well. In it goes. There's the drive, working well from Ireland there. Scotland beginning to creak, and we're going to do well to survive here. Denton picks up. Very, very promising signs for that Irish scrum early on. A worry for Scotland, trying to drive away a bit from their own line. Ford carries.
Wait here, Green. Use it!
Laidlaw sends it high and just into touch. It's a decent kick from back there under pressure. Still not out of the 22.
I think Greg Laidlaw did well to get as much distance as he did. You can see the Scotland scrum under huge pressure from the Ireland 8. David Denton did pretty well to pick that up with Kelly Brown's help, Ryan Wilson's help to secure the ball.
It's Cian Healy really getting on the outside and in on Murray Lowe and getting him moving backwards. So far, Irish line has stood up pretty well without Paul O'Connell. There's plenty of variety.
Well, this line out, it's lost at the back by Ireland this time, so both line outs looking a little bit feeble, but the kick finds Rob Carney. He loves to have a canter through the middle. And penalty to Ireland. Scotland not rolling away. Kelly Brown is the man penalised. And a proper goal to come for Johnny Sexton.
It's frustrating for Scotland's point of view. They did so well to win the Irish line out, and then a loose kick allowed Rob Carney, who's on form at the moment, to run it back. And you see how hard he fights through the contact. And then referee Joubert penalises number 7 Kelly Brown for not rolling away.
No, he's going to be pretty sharp on that. Referees really want to focus on the contact area and get those bodies out of the area and get clean ball for the attacking side. They're really going to legislate in favour of the attacking team.
That was a real feature of yesterday's games as well. So whether the referees have had a discussion about that or a focus on that, it's worth bearing in mind for the players in the field.
So just one kick at goal so far in the match. Laidlaw hitting the upright. Sexton picks up his tee. His work is done. 3 points on the board for Ireland. Again, deserve it for the last few minutes of play. Could easily have had a try, but 3 points is their return.
There's really nothing in it. To be honest, 3-all, you could have said was a fair reflection. Maybe Ireland coming closest in terms of threatening the try line. But both sides really setting out with intent, particularly around the contact area. The hits are really coming in, particularly those first up tackles.
So Weir with the restart, and Dave Carney takes it. The younger brother on the wing. And Amani brought down. So Sexton again. And rather slices that one. And Weir tries to get his small frame up there, and it's come back for Ireland. It's Devon Toner. And beyond forwards in the back line. And the offload nearly finds Chris Henry, but forward it goes. Scottish scrum.
Well, again, Jonathan Sexton really reluctant to kick for touch. It wasn't a great kick, but the chase was good.
Yes.
Andrew Trimble managed to recover it. And Ireland playing from very, very deep with real intent. Just the last, I suppose, the afterthought of an offload from Brian O'Driscoll. Maybe a little bit too low for Chris Henry moving at that pace.
Thank you.
There he is. And his farewell season, farewell tour. Who knows, he might carry on, but 35 now, just turned 35, Brian O'Driscoll, and Jamie Heaslip looking for a bit of afters with the referee.
Jamie, there's quite a lot of talk coming from the rest of the boys, so I'm real happy with that talk between you and me. Thanks.
Everything has to go through the captain.
Good to go.
The pass is Ronan O'Gara today in Irish cap terms. There's few for the Lions as well, taken closer to George Gregan, the all-time record caps holder. That's where most of the game has been happening, just inside the Irish half, but Ireland with the points so far.
Crouch! Stand up, please.
There's a good locking of horns
Guys, we need
there.
to come closer together. And I'm not going to talk again. Your head outside him. Not head to head, outside him.
Rotting season.
Come up to the mark, please, Hooker. Thank you.
Well, Cian Healy is a fan of the hit, and the new laws to an extent have taken away that, because they perhaps have to buy and they're going to be much, much closer, and he would have fancied his chances against Maury Ford of getting a good hit on him. So there it is again. He's got to get his head outside, but in fact, Maury Lowe, he's complaining that Maury Lowe's head is not in the right position too.
When you come down, you stay there. Yeah, just once you find your place, don't move out.
It's almost an element of tenderness in it. Almost.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Better scrum for Scotland. This one starts to turn round. Denton picks up, and Maitland loops around and bounces off Johnny Sexton. The pass a little bit behind Sean Lamont, but takes it well enough. Swinson. Here comes Maitland again, and Denton. Oh, a gasp from the crowd. And Ryan Wilson, well taken down, but gets that ball back. And Scotland again, plenty of ball to play with. Ball went loose behind Maitland, so Hamilton scoops it up. But Scotland being punched back now by Ireland.
Go green!
Mike Ross is down. He's felt a latest collision. There's Denton again. And carried in by Duncan Taylor. Lansdowne Road, a little bit silent as Scotland come forward and get the penalty again. Ireland not rolling away.
Okay, all right.
And Mike Ross still struggling a little bit over the far side.
Look,
there.
I realise it's tough, but I'm setting a high standard.
Oh, It's this is what he's been consistent, and he's being very, very thorough, Craig Joubert.
Well, you can see that Devon Toner isn't really making much of an effort to move away. At least if he released his tackling arm, he would be seen to be making some kind of an effort. But with Craig Joubert, you really need to do that. This is what the crowd had seen.
The Rocky and Johnny Sexton feeling that one.
Oh, I just missed that.
Well, he didn't. If it was any lower, he would have been in trouble. Laidlaw, just inside the 10-metre line this time. This kick better from Laidlaw, and the scores are tied, 3 points apiece.
3 points apiece, but it's a fairly muted reaction from the crowd. That's, yeah, well, that if your body is in front of your legs, in other words, you're seen to be using your legs and rucking the player out, that's seen as okay. What you can't do is kick at somebody, and Joubert letting him away with that probably looked worse than it was.
So 19 minutes gone, and we're all even in a fairly even contest so far. Again, the long restart from Sexton, and Laidlaw takes it, returns, and Rob Carney is there. Taken down by Alex Dunbar.
Play on.
And
All available.
ball there now for Ireland.
Ball not out, wait.
Little pocket of forwards. Cian Healy always looking to carry. Rory Best. Now Conor Murray thinks about sneaking under the defensive line himself. O'Driscoll just a prod forward. It's well placed, and down goes Dave Carney. The crowd don't like it. And away now comes Sean Lamont. Just about gets away, but O'Driscoll was there as Lamont delayed.
Well away, 3.
And Scotland in a bit of bother now inside their own 22.
Ball is available. Here.
Just coming back for Scotland. So Laidlaw chips it over the top, out into touch.
Good attack there from Ireland, much quicker possession of the ball. So Cian Healy taking the ball, and obviously losing Sean O'Brien and Paul O'Connell, some big ball carriers, but Healy's a ball carrier. He got go forward, which allowed Brian O'Driscoll to nibble it in behind, as we see about the shoulder barging of Dave Carney chasing the ball down.
Referee and touch judge or assistant referee saw nothing in it. Ireland's line out again. Both line outs a little bit ropey. That one's solid enough to Marnie at the back, and here come Ireland again. And Marshall. And advantage to Ireland.
Offside.
Scotland offside, so Ireland playing with the advantage, and Sexton has done so. The whistle is loud. Back they come for that penalty.
Ball not over the 15.
Well, so far Ireland runners working very, very hard off the ball in terms of running some good lines, and you just get the sense that maybe the ball should be going to those ball carriers. Rory Best, Luke Marshall then opting to hold on to the ball themselves, where there seemed to be space opening up on the outside for the runners. That's something I think they'll start to use as that goes on.
Yeah, the Scottish defence is given the space on the outside for Irish attack to go to, but they're actually sliding really quite quickly as well. So when you see Marshall there taking it in, he's trying to fix the defence, so the next time round the corner there's a bit of space out wide. But good attack and good defence at the moment, almost nullifying each other.
So no sooner really had Scotland got back on level terms than Johnny Sexton will try and pop this one over. The same line as the first one, but a good deal closer. Never going to trouble Johnny Sexton from that distance. 6-3 Ireland leads, 22 minutes gone.
There's an awful lot of talk after the New Zealand game that Johnny Sexton's prep time preceding that last fateful missed penalty, but he does take a long time anyway, and as he said himself, he didn't really felt he took overly long over that penalty.
It's amazing when 60,000 fall silent and wait, and Sexton gives Ireland the lead again. And up for that one goes Dan Tui.
Not out, yep.
Conor Murray with the box kick. Denton waiting for this one and spills it on the leap. And a bit of space here for Ireland if they move it wide, and O'Driscoll gallops forward, gives it to Marshall. And out to Rob Kearney. He's well brought down by Sean Lamont. Counter-rucking from Scotland, and Kelly Brown
No, stop yelling at me.
will come away with it.
Ball is out.
Shovels it on to Murray Lowe.
6 green.
Trimble flying in to try and disrupt things. There's Weir again. Over the heads to Duncan Taylor. The Saracen centre brought down. And Ireland this time with the counter ruck, but still coming back Scotland's way. Maitland. No way through down the blind side. And a boot comes in, out it goes. And Weir does well, but he's on his own. Blue shirts come by in response now. Ireland making their way up the pitch. It's still Scotland's ball though. Just a little prod over the top again from Laidlaw, and Maitland looking for it. Eventually Rob Kearney has to come across and just boot it into touch.
Yeah, the contacts on the outside channel are fierce, aren't they? As soon as there's an opportunity for a turnover, whether it's Scotland or Ireland, they're firing bodies in. You see there, Scotland fighting to keep the ball. Devon Toner, Cian Healy firing through. And a little bit of sense, a little bit of understanding, a bit of knowledge at the end as Greg Laidlaw chips it over, pulls Rob Kearney out of position, has to concede the line out, but really aggressive work in the outside channel, looking for that turnover.
Difficult game to call at the moment in terms of how it's going to go. Ireland seem to have the upper hand in certain areas, but Scotland moving forward quite nicely at times.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just a bit of a break for some injury treatment. Ethan Mane is down.
Well, a big feature of the game so far has been the stats in terms of possession. Last time we looked, Scotland had about 68 possession and the lion's share of the territory as well. So Ireland really living off scrap. They look promising, a little bit more dangerous when they have the ball, but they simply not getting enough ball at the moment.
Going shortish, or sort of to the middle there, Scotland, and Wilson had it, and this time they get the rolling ball going forward. Down it goes, advantage to Scotland. Penalty is theirs if they make nothing of this. Despite O'Driscoll coming up, Scotland still have it, and well, the move still going as Craig Joubert calls them back for that penalty.
Number 1 collapsing them all.
All brought down by
Line out was over.
Cian Healy.
Dropped my hand. Yeah.
So much of this game being played within the 2 10-metre lines, no side really having a try line in sight, so it's a fairly tame affair at the moment, with I suppose the contact area being the most competitive, and both sides need to get themselves closer to the opposition 22 and create some scoring chances to really open this game up and set it alight.
Interesting decision, because it just about within the reach of Laidlaw. Certainly Hogg could have had a pop. But Scotland have the line out, didn't get too much ground either, and then the line out goes wrong. So a penalty ultimately rather wasted by Scotland. And Murray clears. Maitland this time waiting for Scotland. Into Hogg. Quiet since his earlier forays. Lamont just juggles and keeps hold of it, but then it goes loose, and Scotland flinging it about. Kelly Brown scoops it up.
Use it!
Ross Ford just barges his way up to the halfway. Weir this time thinks he sees a bit of space behind Rob Kearney. Beautiful kick from Duncan Weir. Kearney slaps it infield though, keeps it alive. Great play by the Ireland fullback and buys Ireland a bit of breathing space.
Well, that was looking very, very promising for Scotland, because Scotland really can usually doing at the moment in terms of possession is getting some field position, frustrating Ireland, pinning them back and using their set piece, their strong line out to turn over possession and attack from there. Rob Kearney's just given them a bit of breathing space with that clearing kick.
As long as his feet are in the air when he pats it back in, not out. And still Scotland's line out though. Taken in the middle by Swinson. Kelly Brown. Taylor trying to get that ball back, does eventually. As Ryan Wilson onto Duncan Weir, wide to Hogg now. And Hogg looking for the chip perhaps from Maitland, who'd come back inside, but into touch it goes, and Scotland will have that field position now.
Yeah, good option by Stuart Hogg. He's looked sharp, hasn't he? You know, the very first 2-3 touches he was attacking with the ball in hand, and here you see him right in the end of the line, fixing defence, putting it through.
No, Scotland off me,
and although
please.
Ireland have the throw into the line, it's on their own 5-metre line, and you can bet your bottom dollar Scotland put a bit of pressure on here.
We've got Jim Hamilton here. He's a great disruptor, line-out stealer for Scotland. He'll be flapping his wings and chirping away. Trying to get hands in there was Ryan Wilson, but good safe take for Ireland. Mahoney there.
Okay, 3 out.
Now looking to muscle their way away from the try line. Wilson counter-rucking by Scotland in there, and Scotland will have the scrum. A few tempers beginning to fray at the edges.
Well, Scotland doing exactly what they need to be doing, really disrupting and making themselves very, very awkward, getting men in their hands on the ball. That's the second time they've managed to disrupt an Irish maul by just getting those arms in.
Collapse more, you'd turn over.
Tim Swinson enjoying this, his first Six Nations. So real pressure now in the Irish defence. Scotland scrum.
Outside. I'll make sure he doesn't move. I'll make sure he stays out. You go in the hole. Don't move. Last one was fine. Head out.
Joubert has come round to look at the troublesome side.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Roar from the crowd. Ball in, Irish shove, and they seem to have the better of that one, but Denton picks up, and Denton driving on for the line and tries to get it down into touch. Well, the power of the number 8 nearly got him there on his own.
I think it was Conor Murray who came from the scrum half position. He just added a final bit of weight, as you see Dave Denton driving towards the line. If you watch Colin Murray, it's Peter O'Mahony for the blind side as well.
Stay on your feet.
Yeah, you could just see that big arm, that telescoping arm coming out, couldn't you? Ready to get over the whitewash, but last-ditch defence by Ireland. They need to do it all again.
They certainly do. The shortened line out in defence again, taken down safely this time. Dan Toohey was there for them, but still right in the danger zone. Conor Murray clears. That's a decent kick. Maitland takes it.
An excellent kick from Murray. Not only did he save the try on his own line, but a wonderful kick there, as you see Dave Denton again almost ready to reach out for the line, and the door was closed.
Great defensive work coming across. So close. Scotland's line out again, lots of territory here, but they trail by 3 points, and the slight overthrow, the intended target. And Murray, same kick but a bit further up the pitch, and Maitland coming forward again, and collision with Carney. And Maitland is instantly clutching his lower calf. Does not look good as he came down there. The challenge with Dave Carney was fair, both men going for the ball. Oh dear, dear. And the crowd see it on the big screen. His right leg, as it landed, his foot, his ankle. And I think that might be the end of Maitland's match. Carney is grimacing a little bit. Let's get the thoughts of Keith Wood in the match so far. Keith.
It's been very stop-start, to be honest, Andrew. I think the first 10 minutes or so were pretty intense. But Scotland have had all the possession, has had the ball, have run across the field time and time again. Haven't seemed to have any real intrusion into the Ireland line. Ireland are quite comfortable in defence, and they're not too stressed by it at the moment. But that was just horrible to see the way Maitland landed on his ankle.
So Maitland is off. A bit of a loss of pace in the back three for Scotland. Max Evans, I'm sure, will come on. You can see him down there preparing.
Yeah, just Keith Wood makes a good point about the Scotland attack, and it's interesting. Most of the decisions in the Irish defence have been to tackle low. We're so used to seeing them, the choke tackle hitting and holding the team up, but a lot of the tackles have been low. Whether that's a new Joe Schmidt initiative, who knows, but they're certainly tackling low and hard and stopping the Scottish momentum.
We say there that Sean Maitland's a big loss, but Max Evans brings a certain spark to play. He'll slot straight in the wing.
Yeah. Crouch! Bind! Stand up, please. 3 blue, not on his arm, bind long.
So scrum again.
It's because I didn't say it. Yeah.
Let's have a look at where this match has been played. The action is still really happening there between, exactly where they are at the moment.
Coming closer, please.
They're in possession, Scotland with most of it. That decision not to have a proper goal with that earlier penalty is a strange one.
Yes, Ireland, what little possession they've had has been, most of it has been in their own half, and most of Scottish possession has been in the Irish half, and that's why the game is so evenly balanced.
Stand up, down on the far side.
The crowd saying what they think about this part of the game. These are so frustrating to watch.
The Irish
Mark, you're going to monitor this side,
lined up a wee bit different. You've got Dave Carney just sitting in behind Jonathan Sexton, and then Luke Marshall in front with Brian O'Driscoll behind. So whether they've got something up their sleeve or there's got to be some movement before the ball comes out of the scrum, if and when it comes out of the scrum, and all that's maybe just to paint a picture for Stuart Hogg, trying to pull him out of position,
crouch,
to find some space.
Bind, set.
In she goes. Put-ins are never straight. Scrum is crumbling, but it's fine, held at the back there, and Conor Murray gives it to Sexton. O'Driscoll, little quick pass, went a bit loose, and Hogg coming up there trying to hack it. It's Scotland's ball, and the Irish defence has to quickly reset itself. Taylor is there and still scrabbling his way forward. Weir gives it to Denton. Oh, he's trying to punch a hole. To Swinson, to Weir, and on to Ryan Wilson. Scotland again finding themselves in a good position.
Let it go now, Green.
Once again, what can they do with it? Options either side, or deep drop goal attempt perhaps. No, Weir too far out, gives it to Hogg, who skips.
Missed it.
Weir again. Wide it goes, good strength once more from Lamont. Cian Healy struggling down on the ground now for Ireland, but back into the defensive line. Weir again out to Ryan Wilson. Good quick hands, and then a scoop out from Hogg, and Max Evans quickly into things. Penalty to Ireland despite the protestations of Laidlaw and Hogg. Ireland get the decision.
Well, both defences just cancelling each other out at the moment. Ireland trying to attack from deep, probably getting a little bit impatient. And Scotland, when they are getting the ball, on that occasion just being bottled up by Ireland. That's good work off the ball by Ireland to get that turnover.
Well, a game of few points at the moment, 5 minutes to go. 6-3 Ireland's lead. They haven't had much play inside Scotland's half.
Devon Toner's been putting in a huge day so far, very, very prominent in the tackle area and the contact area.
And Cian Healy looks to be fighting fit again. Ireland's line out looked a little bit squint, and indeed that is the decision.
Outside the shoulder.
So both sides making some basic errors. There are some good passages of play, but set pieces on both sides actually struggling with a line out on
really
occasion.
Good engagements, hey? So let's just make everyone a good one, hey? We can do that? Of course we can.
Optimist.
Yep, so left of the mark, thank you.
No, it was clearly down the Irish side from Rory Best.
Crouch!
Scrum on the 15 allows the right hand side, the blind side if you like, for Scotland. As Max Evans sitting there and Dave Carney has to mark that.
Scotland's scrum buckled for a moment and then steadies itself. Denton really has been very busy, very powerful. Some cracking number 8s in this championship. Pop over the top, easily taken by Rob Carney. Just outside the 22 as he took it. Couldn't call for the mark. Dave Carney, rather.
Yeah, agreed.
And he's done well, the winger.
Good play, Dave Carney here to mark that blindside we spoke about. And as soon as the ball went in field, he could drop back and cover the kick. He was there just as the ball came off Greg Ledlaw's foot. So well read by Dave Carney and a good clearance kick.
It's all really happening, just meandering around out with the 22s at the moment in the middle of the pitch here, to no great effect from either side. This line out taken down well by Swinson, and Laidlaw pops it up. Max Evans chasing this one down. Dave Carney coming forward. Beautiful take by the winger. There's Chris Henry into Swinson and Denton. Sexton, lovely dummy around Kelly Brown, still going. Sexton, and Sexton out into the open. Johnny Sexton now. Marshall inside, outside it's Heaslip, the captain for the corner. Hogg tries to take him. Heaslip scores. Gets the ball down.
Is there a foot in touch? Is there a foot in touch? I suspect you better want to have a second look at this one.
Fantastic break with Johnny Sexton, and what a pass to deliver to
He's
Heaslip.
with everything leading up to the grounding. So we're looking at grounding and touchline, that is all.
Well, I think the grounding was okay, but as Philip was saying, just the touchline might deny Heaslip what would be a great captain's try.
Great effort by Stuart Hogg to stop him. Heaslip rides it, I think here. Max Evans just manages to get the touch, I think.
Grazing the line a fraction before the ball was down, it looks as if.
That's a very tough one to call. It's going to take a bit of time over this one.
TMO is Carlo Damasco.
No, that's not going to be the angle. It's that original angle. No, he's not. Yes, he did put his foot in touch there. In fact, on the grounding, actually, I don't think he got it down anyway.
Greg,
yes,
I have a decision.
Yeah, standing by.
Foot in touch, line out, 5 meters back.
Okay, thank you.
Well, it would have been a great try. It was a great defensive effort. Hogg tried to, the crowd don't agree, but it's the right decision. Hogg put in a big effort to stop a big man. Then Max Evans with a saving tackle. But with 2 minutes to go, still a great position for Ireland if they can steal this ball, which they have. Scotland's line out misfires again. Penalty advantage to Ireland as well. Scotland coming through as Conor Murray tried to get it free. Looking for a try just before half-time. What a time to score it would be for Ireland. Sexton, then a kick to nothing. Was the advantage still being played? Yes, it was.
Number 1 offside. Number 1.
Well, the advantage was being played, but Jonathan Sexton kick didn't give anybody a chance at anything there. What Ireland wanted was quick ball and keep that in the hands. Once it had gone to Jonathan Sexton, he looks down in disgust. He knows that's poor execution.
Okay, they fancy their chances. So 3 points before half-time is not what we're looking for. We want more. This last minute is a very, very big minute in the match as a whole. Both lineouts have had their troubles. This one to the safe hands of Toner, and then the green shirts quickly in there to try and drive. This is how they had some near success earlier on in the match. The crowd urging them on, stalling for a moment.
Their body positions aren't low enough.
But infield they come, a bit more room to play with. Conor Murray just held by Duncan Weir, but Ireland getting closer. Cian Haley at the heart of that drive, within 2 metres, wide it goes now. Big defensive thump comes in, great tackle on Tui. Wide now though, if Ireland can get the ball, the try is there for them, and it's Trimble who crosses. Ireland have their try as the clock goes red. What a time to score, what a try from Andrew Trimble.
Well, when the rolling maul broke down, they were able to get that ball away quickly, so the Scottish defence wasn't allowed to reset, and they made use of the extra man. From here, it was just a simple case of putting the ball through the hands, but it still had to be done. Maybe Hogg was a little bit tight there, because that man for man, Scotland were okay. They were a little bit too narrow in defence there, Chris.
Yeah, you got the impression that Ireland were in control from that drive, from the regeneration. Conor Murray pulling the strings, and then lovely hands all the way along the line under pressure. Andrew Trimble to score in the corner for his 13th try, wonderfully executed. But you're right, I think because Ireland had attacked the line, gone so hard to line, it brought the Scotland defence in. As we spoke earlier in the half, the space was an outside channel.
Good decision as well to go for the line out. They knew they had that coming. Rob Kearney is getting some applause. He's back at his feet. He was receiving some treatment, and Jonathan Sexton with the final kick of this first half.
We had a look at it.
A groan tells you the final touch of the match of the half is not successful, but Ireland have an 8-point lead and deserve it on being able to take their chances.
Well, a little bit of enterprise from Jonathan Sexton, who'd been moving the ball across the field most of the afternoon, and just caught Scotland very, very flat that time. Cut back inside, and that was what led to a Hayslip's break and ultimately the try. More of that needed in the second half.
That's given them a healthy margin. Ireland going to the second half, but a match which is still very much up for grabs in the second half. Ireland 11-3 at the break. As the whistle of Craig Joubert blows, and Johnny Sexton gets us underway again. 8 points the difference between these two sides. That one change, a forced one for Scotland, with Maitland off and Max Evans in on the wing. And Sexton sends it high again. Rob Kearney galloping on, and he actually ran beyond it. Dave Denton has it. Weir over the head of Dave Kearney. The bounce is quite good for Duncan Weir and for Scotland, because up come the centres and Max Evans as well, and send Dave Kearney into touch. So Scotland with the early attacking position.
Well, again, Scotland getting the advantage of territory and possession as well. From the Gary owned by Sexton, Ireland unable to feed that, and it's kind of replaying out the second half, isn't it, with Ireland trying to play rugby from deep in their own 22.
So Ford, I don't know if he's feeling the pressure, but the line out has not worked perfectly for Scotland by any means in the first half, but a great position here inside the Irish 22. Long is the option this time, safely into the midriff of Jim Hamilton. And Scotland just 15 metres out from the Irish line, and they have the advantage. Ireland coming in from the side, so Scotland's penalty. So a little option is a crossfield kick, a shot at nothing. Forward goes Sean Lamont, and it's just beyond him. And they'll come back for that penalty. Rob Kearney's off.
Not through the middle.
He's galloped off down the tunnel. Hey, here he comes again. We do need you, Rob. But it's going to be a straightforward pop-at goal for Greg Laidlaw, you would think. And Andy Nicol talking about first score in the second half, and Scotland with a chance
not through the middle,
to get back to within 5 points.
good line out from Scotland. You know, all the talk at the half-time break there was the line out, but Ross Ford threw over the 15, a long throw to Jim Hamilton, and there was a lot of control there, and just with that added pressure, you keeping the ball, it puts Ireland under pressure, and Greg Laidlaw has a chance to knock over his second penalty.
I wonder how many mauls or rolling mauls like that generate penalties for coming in the side. On that occasion it was Devon Toner, but it's a cheap 3 points, and all of a sudden from a kick-off, Ireland giving Scotland a very, very kickable opportunity.
And one miss so far. Another 3 points for Laidlaw, and for Scotland back within 5.
Now somewhere Ireland have got to find that spark again that Jonathan Sexton ignited late in the second half. They've got to get on the front foot.
What is that all that about?
As Keith was saying, Ireland missing the likes of Sean O'Brien just to get them beyond that gain line, but somebody's got to do it.
Sexton then chip straight down the middle on the restart.
Yeah, back off green.
Oh, and it worked well for Ireland. Cian Healy comes forward to take it. Very effective restart, gives them this wonderful position. And there is Rob Kearney. Chris Henry.
2 blue wide.
Can Ireland be, again, more effective with their possession than Scotland? O'Mahony. Heaslip back into Rory Best. Sexton, little flip back into Cian Healy. Sexton saw the Scottish defenders coming up, held on. It's Chris Henry again. Still Ireland's ball. Oh, well read, and Dave Kearney going nowhere there as he came in off the wing. Heaslip, out it goes to O'Mahony. Still Ireland's ball, still they come. Sexton wide this time, too wide, too long beyond Rob Kearney. And Scotland will have the scrum, and this time it's Ireland's attack, rather blunt.
Knock-on option, line out.
Well, Cian Healy and Peter O'Mahony stepping up there in terms of breaking the gain line. Chris Henry prominent as well, but they're just not able to make the most of it. That was well telegraphed, that little inside pass. Dave Kearney's run was very, very clear to the Scottish defence. That's where you want to see Jamie Heaslip maybe taking the ball on. He's got in a weak position there. It's very obvious that he's going to pass. Want to see him being a little bit more direct and taking defenders on and committing men.
So for scrum of this second half, these were fairly even affairs in the first when they did take place.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Straight down the middle, that one, so it's available to be hooked by Ireland. Eventually came back,
Turnover good.
but it's a turnover. Ireland do have it. Fair contest at the scrum. Marshall looking wide now. Kearney is there. Dave Kearney brought down by Hogg.
Let's go blue.
And a penalty
Off
to
your feet,
Ireland.
put the ball down.
Scotland off their feet.
Off your feet.
Well, that's what a straight put in at the scrum can do.
Absolutely, it almost hung in the middle there, didn't it? And eventually it came out. There we go, there's a hook. Eventually comes out on the Irish side, and Conor Murray took it to the line. A wonderful pass from Paul Marshall to Dave Kearney, the space on the outside.
Well, it's the pressure of this Irish front row we're putting on the Scottish front row that Ross Ford wasn't able to strike. He had to keep both feet on the ground just to hold position.
And Ireland have gone once again for this position. They kick for touch, they go for the line out. The line out works. And here comes the drive. This time it's a gallop towards the line. Surely the try. It has to be. It is the try for Ireland. Jamie Heaslip coming up with it, but I think it was the man below him, perhaps. Well, two men there, and the try is there for Ireland.
Well, that looked all too easy for Ireland, Chris, didn't it? The Scottish defence have been good of the Irish maul so far. They're just not. They don't really get met in numbers there when the ball is won by Tui. Their body positions. Ireland are got in behind him and rolled away from the main thrust of that Scottish defence. They've just targeted the back, and the Scottish front five are slow to react and get low.
Yeah, there's a shift as well. It's two that takes it and immediately hits the ground. He slips it to Heaslip. He gets it power from behind. Rory Best driving over the line, and a wonderful work try for Ireland.
Well, Heaslip so nearly had a length of the pitch try. He gets one at much closer quarters. But as much as that try is worth 5, perhaps 7 points, it's worth far more in knowing that Ireland have that weapon against Scotland, very much the upper hand. And the kick is true as well, and Ireland's lead up to 12 points. Tries either side of half-time.
No, they got the line out through Enterprise. The position was Ireland getting whips on the ball. They virtually tackled into touch, but Scottish transgression gave them that line out option.
And as you said, too easy for Ireland there from Scotland's point of view. Simple decision. We're not going to take the shot at goal for 3 points because we can drive our way over for the try. Denton waiting for this one. And Hogg in field to Weir. And Lamont on to Taylor. Scotland will need to score a try if they're to remain in this match.
One green away!
Yes, Hogg to Denton. Fairly easily read by the Irish defence. Ryan Wilson. A couple of green shirts there to meet him. Duncan Taylor and O'Driscoll come together. And Taylor trying to get this back, and he does.
No, 7, use it!
So Ryan Grant for Scotland.
3 green away!
And eventually Laidlaw over the top. Lamont and Trimble. Trimble wins the aerial battle. And the ball loose and little knock on. Scotland will have the scrum.
Lost 4 green.
No, he did so well to take it, but again it was good Scottish pressure on the ball carrier. No, that was good by what looked like Kelly Brown there. Numbers getting in there quickly.
Well, there's Sean Maitland, his right ankle already in the protective cast. So obviously doesn't look good for the rest of the Six Nations for Sean Maitland.
Good work, boys. More than the same, please.
Scotland scrum.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Hit and chase.
Oh, free kick to Ireland on that occasion.
Well, that's clearly an overhang from the last scrum where they were pushed off the ball, a bit too eager to get the upper hand there.
And Heaslip makes some ground and Murray over the top, but Hogg will take this one and step his way around Trimble and give it infield to Lamont. There's Ryan Wilson. Weir again. And wide now. Taylor. It might have gone too long from Taylor. It has. Out on the full. Back they come. Things not working for Scotland.
You know, that's disappointing. That was actually well read kick by well, Stuart Hawke read the kick well from Conor Murray, and that's an opportunity for Scotland to keep their hands on the ball. Yes, you're probably going to be tackled, but if you run aggressively in outside channels, keep the ball, build possession, the attacking edge. But unfortunately, it hands the ball over to Ireland.
Yeah, you've got to back yourself in those situations, aren't you? There was a fair bit of space there for him to have a cut at Luke Marshall, and he chose to kick the ball. That to me shows maybe just a little bit of lack of confidence on the ball.
And Ireland's line out, purring nicely. Now Heaslip. There's Cian Healy.
Not on your feet, far blue.
Murray excavating. Heaslip nearly through again. Gives it on to Murray. Irish players arriving now. O'Mahony. And Healy once again. This time well met by Swinson and Wilson. Sexton wide to Luke Marshall. Trimble outside, waiting for it. Marshall into the 22. Ireland looking far the better side at the moment. Rory Best again, the pirouette. Sexton quickly to Marshall, tries to get it to O'Driscoll. And lost forward eventually by Scotland. So Ireland scrum, and Marshall's taken a bit of a knock.
Since Ireland scored that try in the second half, they've looked a lot sharper, and I think they've been very, very well marshalled by Conor Murray at scrum half. He's choosing the right decision whether to go open or come blind, hit his forward or go to the backs. He's playing very well and having a big impact in the game, but you can still see a noticeable change in the tempo and the speed of the game since that second try. Yes,
with possession in the Scottish 22, they're upping it a notch. They were very subdued when they're in possession in their own 22, which they spent much of the first half in.
Alistair Dickinson on there for Ryan Grant in the Scottish loosehead. Yeah, it's a familiar tale, Chris, though, isn't it? The possession, just the cutting edge, where that you have to win it by tries, really. Occasionally you'll win matches by penalties, but more often than not you're going to have to score tries. Yeah, and the possession stats are there, and the action areas are we've always said almost between the 10-metre lines today, but Scotland have had a lot of possession, they've looked reasonably dangerous, but confidence, that ability to take the line on, knowing the support's behind you, is I think what they need to work on. Possession's turned around in the second half, Philip. That's been the key, absolutely. 61% to Ireland, and again a very good attacking opportunity with a solid scrum. It's not a bad start to the Six Nations for Ireland, because it's two home games here against Scotland and against Wales next weekend. 6-day turnaround for both these sides, though.
Waiting on!
Just held at the back by Heaslip, eventually going nowhere, so picks up, and Marshall.
10 blue!
Murray gives it to O'Driscoll. More ground made, and Healy. Good tackling coming in from Scotland. There's Heaslip once again.
Onside, no!
Murray frees that ball again, and Rory Best.
Move your feet!
And Sexton, O'Driscoll, little loop around by Sexton, and gives it nicely to Carney. And Ireland up within 10 metres now. Chris Henry is there, Ulster teammate, Trimble alongside. Peter O'Mahony.
Run away, blue!
Advantage to Ireland as well. So an attack to nothing for Murray. Still Ireland's ball, still their advantage. O'Driscoll plays scrum half, Devin Toner.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
There is the penalty eventually, no advantage comes. Scotland not rolling away in the tackle.
Okay,
everything going the way of the men in green.
Guys, okay, all right. Okay. Come here, please, Jim.
Jim, what are you up to?
Listen. You've tried to explain to me that you're mates with Oakes and all this kind of thing. Yeah. The fact of the matter is, every time there's something, you're involved.
For myself, sure.
Not again. Do you understand, Jim?
I understand, sir.
Yeah.
Big Jim Hamilton having to stick up for himself. No, there's the thing. Okay, we've heard everything now. But the level of intensity from Ireland when they're on the ball, they're getting such quick ball. It's really stretching the Scottish defence, and they're having to give away those penalties.
The last 2 or 3 attacks there from Ireland reminded me of watching Leinster. The Joe Schmidt influence and the looping play, and we saw Sexton come around the loop around O'Driscoll, so a lot of movement as the ball was coming out from the base of the scrum. So maybe the 3 or 4 months he's had in charge is beginning to set his mark on how he wants to see them attack.
Okay, thank you.
They're starting to get the ball to those wide runners, aren't they, rather than looking back inside, which they were doing quite a little bit in the first half, and that's where the space is.
So Sexton again goes into the long, thoughtful pause and the silence at the Aviva Stadium. This one is good. That would have done against the All Blacks, but here it moves Ireland beyond 20 points, and their lead is looking very, very strong now. 15 clear.
Well, this is what led up to the penalty. Here's the pressure. Just Ireland getting those wide runners now. Sexton just putting the ball into those wide spaces. In the past, those balls were going inside. They're looking to those outside channels again, and you've got runners, Dave Kearney, Luke Marshall, Rob Kearney hitting those wide channels. You can expect to see a lot more of that if Ireland get field position.
Well, I see Johnny Beattie's on there. Kelly Brown is off, so just finding out the captain wants to know who's captain now. Richie Gray's on as well in the second row. So Richie Gray is on for Jim Hamilton. And Hogg thinks about the kick and then pulls himself. Good bit of strength there. Oh, and wonderful offload. Gets it on to Johnny Beattie. Then the spill. Didn't spot it, the referee. Scotland have got away with one there. Touch judge is in. He wants to have a word about this, so he's still waiting in field, the touch judge. So spotted that knock on. But Scotland in the 22. And here they come, Scotland, a bit of space.
Turnover good!
Still a touch judge is in field, but it's a turnover anyway for Ireland. And a penalty now to Ireland.
Holding on.
Scotland holding on.
Look, I'm happy he got to his feet and competed. That's my call.
Chris Henry looks to have perhaps damaged himself a bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's where the turnover happened. Ireland get the turnover from, I think it was John Beattie's carry. Chris Henry getting in there. He's been pretty much first to the breakdown, but because Scotland have been hitting that breakdown in numbers, it's often been himself against a couple of Scottish players, but he's won the turnover there, one for his stats.
A forum after this one to discuss not just this match, but the whole weekend, of course, and you can email your questions, rugbyunion@bbc.co.uk, tweet them in, include the hashtag BBC Rugby, and they will wend their way to us, and we'll be discussing them afterwards. It looks as if the third match of the weekend is going the way of Ireland, but still some distance to go, over 20 minutes. And Scotland haven't shown yet the creative spark that might be able to help bridge that gap.
I noticed a change in Ireland's kicking in the first half. They were using the Gary Owen quite a bit, but this second half, Conor Murray and John Sexton now just kicking the ball deep to the Scottish back three and telling them run it back to us.
Line out working well. O'Mahony this time was the man who patted it down. Oh, the pass, well, almost there for the interception from O'Driscoll, but taken down by Kearney. He did well. And O'Mahony, and again Sexton on the loop, and wide it comes now to Marshall. Back in field, Trimble. Still some hearty tackles. Cian Healy slips through, and Cian Healy now out in the open, forwards around him, Hogg in front of him, but he's taken down by Weir. Got his small frame round the ankles, and then out there on Murray as well. Weir tackling his heart out, but Ireland still with it. Heaslip.
Ball available.
Such a creative, skillful prop forward, Cian Healy.
Tackler, play on. No.
And Ireland again into a menacing position. As Mike Ross, I'm sure he expected that. And has he been stripped of it?
Turnover good.
Picked up now by Johnny Beattie. Gives it on to Ryan Wilson. Scotland still plenty of ball to play with, and they have an overlap there, and immediately given the long looping pass to Max Evans. Looks for the offload inside Brian O'Driscoll. Nobody there for Scotland, but the ball's still in there, said the referee, so penalty as Sexton came through.
It's a pretty clear no from Joubert, wasn't
Whether
it?
you agree or not, I've deemed it to be inside and I've shouted as loud as I can.
Yeah.
Not out.
Yeah, that ball's still in the ruck, I think.
It was, and it did it pop out last minute? As long as the foot is over that ball, it's still deemed to be in there, and Scotland have the penalty.
Ireland only conceded 4 penalties. That's a good. The usual target is lower than 10. You see Cian Haley bumping 1 or 2 players and then thundering towards Stuart Hogg, but he'll be delighted that Duncan Weir got back and made that wonderful tackle right on the ankles.
So Scotland's line out. Richie Gray this time takes it safely for Scotland. And Ryan Wilson, little pop to was Alex Dunbar, but spilled as he took man and ball at the same time. O'Driscoll puts his boot on it. Hogg going back there for Scotland. Keeps it in play just. Fancies his chances against Trimble and against Rory Best, and Hogg brought down eventually by Chris Henry, gets the ball away. And Sean Lamont now for Scotland.
Push back here, Green.
Ryan Wilson, things opening up just a little bit now. Weir, and hitting the line at pace was Taylor. Did well to stand up there in the challenge. Out wide to Richie Gray. Decides just to fold himself in, and Marshall. Well, eventually back for Laidlaw. And on to Dickinson. Up to the halfway by Hardgraf for Scotland.
Run away, 2. Keep going, keep going.
Again, the phases there, and Laidlaw under pressure. Over the head to Evans. He's got a step or 2. Wide it goes now. Swinson. Head down straight into Trimble. Good tackle from the Ulsterman. Sean Lamont. 2 lock forwards meet him. Denton.
1 Green.
8 phases now and counting for Scotland. Duncan Weir. Duncan Taylor, little chip through. Alex Dunbar up there, and Carney just has to watch that one carefully. Decent play by Scotland.
Yeah, that's what Scotland need to do. It's as much out of desperation as anything to take that ball from deep in their own half, but showing good enterprise. They need to keep that intensity and that pace and that confidence on the ball going.
And more changes being made. I saw that Marty Moore is coming on. The Leinster tight head prop making his debut, the 22-year-old. He's on for Mike Ross. I think perhaps a glimpse of the future. Mike Ross coming towards the end of his career. There is Martin Moore.
Well, that turnover and that last movement by Ireland, by Mike Ross, who kind of signalled the entry of Martin Moore, whom an awful lot is expected of. Ireland delighted to have found another backup tight head. Pretty thin on the ground these days.
I say nearing the end of his career, and Prop's going to go on for a long time. He's 34 though now. Mike Ross still got a few good days scrummaging in him. Scotland having a long meeting and deliberation about this line out, because if they are to have any chance in this match, they have to score now. 17 minutes to go, 15 points the difference. And the line out is long. This time it works. So they're looking for the little move through the middle there, but read well by Ireland.
Onside.
And Conor Murray clears again. Sean Lamont takes it.
And again, the long kick by Murray. First half, that was a Gary Owen, and they were seeking to get men in the air, but Ireland now decided just to put that ball deep. Good kick by Conor Murray. His kicking has improved so much in the last couple of years. It's a real strength now.
Another change. Cian Haley is going up, and Jack McGrath is coming on. Another Leinster prop. Cian Haley off, and he'll remember his little scamper through midfield. And a good day in the scrum as well.
Well done to Devin Toner, that defensive line out. So often we've seen him get him winning the ball, but he stole that one near his own line.
This line out works at the back again for Scotland, but they have to build from deep again. Sean Lamont in the middle. And Ireland quite stolen this one.
Ball's available. Use it.
Dave Denton waits for this one.
Run away, Green.
Weir pokes it on, and Rob Carney watching this one again. It's well directed by Duncan Weir. It's going to be Ireland's lineup, but again, deep inside their 22.
Send him on.
He's actually controlled his backline quite well today, Duncan Weir. He's attacked the ball well, nicely put the ball through his hands, and now you can see him, because the ball he's getting a little bit quicker, a bit more possession. He's picking the corners as we see Matt Scott coming on for the last 50 minutes or so.
Comes on for Duncan Taylor, Matt Scott. A lot of people expecting good things from Matt Scott, but he's been out with injury for a while and struggling just for match sharpness. Hasn't played a match yet. And Ireland, importantly, gather that line out. Devin Toner doing well again.
Use it once.
Murray again, Lamont coming forward, Trimble contesting well.
All backward, play on.
And Scotland looking to move it. Driscoll had to be up very, very sharply there because the defence was looking threadbare out wide, and a turnover ball, and Ireland come away with it now. A charge by the man fresh on the field, Jack McGrath. And Murray again, now Trimble has it for Ireland. Blue shirts swarming around a bit now. The support arrives, and suddenly deep into Scottish territory. Marty Moore with a touch. Devin Toner intercepted.
Let it go, Green. No, not out. No.
Matt Scott getting a touch of the ball, and penalty to Scotland.
Not out, so I have to make a call.
So Weir away quickly.
It's probably tough.
Looking for support runners now. Swinson, wide it comes. Lamont, players looking tired on both sides now. Spilled forwards. And the chance is the time, and the ball slipping away from Scotland.
Yeah, the game stretch, isn't it? Quite similar actually to yesterday. The France versus England game had periods of this, but the control at the end of it was slightly better. I think both sets of teams are so tired, they're out on their feet. But it's more enterprising from Scotland. They're still having a lot of possession, but they can't break down this Irish defence.
Yeah, the energy expended because it was such a confrontational, physical game in the first half, particularly in terms of the contact area. Difficult to appreciate, but a lot of players showing the fatigue of that first half effort.
Just a couple of changes have been made for Scotland. Murray Lowe is on for Jeff Cross, and there you see Tommy O'Donnell coming on. He'll come on the flank. Peter O'Mahony is off, and we saw Rory Best going off as well. Sean Cronin is on at hooker for Ireland. Good game by Rory Best.
So a completely new Irish front row. See how they do against almost a completely new Scottish front row. Ross Ford, the only incumbent there.
Bind. Set. Yep.
Neither side giving quarter there. Somebody do something. Heaslip goes through, and Ireland making some headway through the middle again. O'Driscoll still full of running and strength at 35, and a penalty to Ireland. Scotland not staying on their feet as they came through.
Desperation, isn't it? You know, he's fully committed, thrown himself, but he has to stay on his feet. He can't go to deck. Has to drive over the top of the ball and stay on his feet.
Gives Sexton the chance to bring Ireland deep into the Scotland half.
Well, that was the try from Jamie Heaslip earlier on in that second half.
Come on.
Smiles from Rory Best, who is off the field now. And both sides winning their line-outs now.
No, I'm happy ball is out.
The charge there, Jack McGrath. And O'Driscoll. Jamie Heaslip, I saw his try a moment ago. A wonderful pick up there by the giant Toner.
Sorry.
And there is second row partner Tui. Meanwhile, Ross Ford has gone off. Pat MacArthur is on at hooker for Scotland. And the kick, well, nearly taken by Rob Kearney, but the mark was called, and Craig Joubert has given him it.
I think he was a bit quick to give that. We might see that in a replay, whether that had been... well, you could say both players had it, both Rob Kearney
Laidlaw,
and Craig Laidlaw.
Yeah, Dave Kearney now.
Run away, 13!
Oh. Choice language, apologies. Sexton. How well placed is this kick? Very well placed over the head of Sean Lamont as Marshall came up.
He looks like he's enjoying it now, Jonathan Sexton, doesn't he? You know, he was reasonable first half, but really came to light towards the end with that wonderful break. And now you can see he's just picking the corners, getting his depth right. A wonderful kick, just landing 2 or 3 yards short of the line.
Enjoying being back with Ireland as well. No Racing Metro. It's been hard at times for him, the French experience. There is Pat MacArthur, replacement hooker for Scotland. And this one has to work well. It does to Wilson. As Johnny Beattie takes the thump eventually from Tommy O'Donnell. Hogg with his finest kick, and Trimble now. Little switch with Rob Kearney.
Run away, 6!
There's Marty Moore. Oh, it's a lovely little wraparound play by Ireland, and well held by Dave Kearney. Back in field now into Alex Dunbar.
Run away, blue 13!
Good play by the Ireland backline to keep it alive. Tommy O'Donnell.
Clear.
And Ireland again looking for one more try to put this game beyond all doubt, as if it weren't there already. Devon Toner.
7, blue 17!
All this testing and tiring the Scottish defence. Once again, Jack McGrath is there. There's Marshall. And the easiest way around Duncan Weir. Oh, good charge, good offload, and Henry is there. Chris Henry steps, finds support from Cronin. Still there for Ireland, for Rob Kearney, shrugs up one tackle. Rob Kearney is going, and he stretches for the line. Try for Rob Kearney. Ireland beyond doubt winners in this match now.
Well, Chris Henry can take a lot of the plaudits there for getting in behind the Scottish defence. Something we've been accustomed to Sean O'Brien doing, but on that occasion there was Chris Henry. Dan Tui takes it up. It's the offload. Henry gets in behind, sensible, holds the ball on, doesn't try to offload it if there's any doubt about the quality of the offload. Yeah, that's great strength and power from Rob Kearney. Lovely cut back inside. He's running against forwards at that stage.
Did well to get to the line, didn't he? You can see him stretching and straining and using all his power to get to the line. But it's interesting, as a fullback you look to try and get involved in the game and you try and get your hands on the ball, and there he came in at first receiver knowing that the previous phase he'd broken the line. You're in behind, it's good ball, a wonderful place to attack, and he deserves his try.
Well, he has talked about how he loves playing under Joe Schmidt at Leinster and here for Ireland now. 9th try for Ireland now for Rob Kearney, and it's beginning to look a very comfortable win for Ireland. Applause for players coming off the pitch. Ireland about to make changes after this kick. And one of them will be for the man who is about to head off. Johnny Sexton sends it through the post. Brian O'Driscoll as well taking the applause as he goes off in his record-breaking cap. And Ireland 22 points clear.
A try scored by number 15, Rob Kearney.
Golden Lagara. whose record was passed, working for our Irish colleagues today. And a thing or two about landing kicks, which Sexton has done today. He's off. Paddy Jackson's on in his place. And here the Boss is on at scrum half for Conor Murray. And Fergus McFadden on as well for Brian O'Driscoll. All the changes have been made now for Ireland, nothing more to give. And of course, Paul O'Connell should come back for their next match against Wales. Ireland 6 days before that match, and Scotland 6 days before they face England at Murrayfield. And there's Ian Henderson, the Ulsterman. Lock forward is on. And he's coming on there for Devin Toner. And there are Chris Cussiter. All the replacements have been used now for both sides. Dave Denton just hangs on to that one.
And replacement for Ireland, number 19, Ian Henderson.
Dickinson takes it in, and
Number 4, Devin Toner.
Scotland trying to take something from this match, but 3 tries to none at the moment. Tells enough of a tale. There's Johnny Beattie. Dickinson again.
Turnover good!
Turnover good, says the referee, so Scotland refused to release it there after penalty to
17
Ireland.
on his feet, should have won the ball.
Well, a whole new set of halfbacks for Ireland. The whole new front row. Some key positions, because Joe Smith will be very, very conscious of building depth in this squad with a World Cup up ahead, and in particular some positions. Tight head prop, Brian O'Driscoll will have to find a successor for it. That's great turnover work by Jack McGrath, who's really matured over this last year and really has proved himself to be a really sound backup for Cian Healy.
So Ireland again, decent attacking position there, line out. Cronin hits his mark, and Tommy O'Donnell, and eagerly hunting down try number 4. Confidence flowing through the Irish players now, even though so many replacements are on. And Fergus McFadden now in midfield. Penalty to Scotland though.
Alex Dunbar winning the penalty, and he's defended bravely and defended well. Quite often the midfield, centres and the back row guys are the defensive leaders, and he's led by example with his effort and defence today.
Yeah, Chris, we'll get Philip's thoughts on Ireland, summing them up in a moment, but Scotland as they go ahead to the England match.
It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, a lot of good possession, a lot of good work in the first half, but as we said at half-time, nothing clinical. You know, it's not that final pass or that really, really positive decision towards the end of all the good play they had. They've used a lot of players who've had a big impact from the bench, but they came up against a good side in Ireland, and I think Ireland are going to be a top side in this year's tournament. So a difficult one, but only 6 days turnaround.
Things do become clear after the opening, or clearer after the opening weekend, and Ireland's prospects looking ahead, Philip.
Yeah, I think Joe Smith will be relatively happy. I think there's a few things he'll want to look at, particularly in the first half. I think he'll be happy with their play, their accuracy and intensity when they were in the opposition half and the opposition 22. But he probably will want to improve on the ball retention aspects of the game in the first half, because they won't get away with that against stronger sides like France away, England away.
Well, there's a tale of 2 halves. I think we'll see possession in the first half, Scotland, and of course Ireland still led after the first half, and then turned round in the second half, so it's only going to go one way. On that occasion, Ireland much more effective with the ball anyway. A bit squint from Scotland, from MacArthur, and Ireland will have the ball at the scrum.
So often we say how important it is to when you score as well, and Ireland's obviously got that try just before half-time, which is a big positive for them, and then they scored quickly after half-time. As soon as Scotland got those 3 points, you know, Jamie Heaslip got that fantastic drive and try. So when you score is really, really important as well. And since then, Ireland have looked a sharper, more confident team.
Yeah, pretty comfortable with that.
Yeah, just nearly the middle half hour, isn't it? The last 15 and the first 15 for Ireland that has kind of got them into this position.
Ready for a scrum in the final minutes of this match.
Stand up. Okay.
A reminder again, the forums come up after this match. Our very knowledgeable people are going to be hanging around after this match to discuss this match, to discuss France against England and Wales against Italy. Email rugbyunion@bbc.co.uk. Tweet #BBC Rugby.
Bind. Set. Yes. Wait, 21, wait!
Again, the scrum, a fairly even contest. Heaslip with the flip through the legs, and here come Ireland again. Paddy Jackson lays it back. There's Henderson there, and fresh legs, full of running.
No, 7!
An advantage to Ireland as Alex Dunbar came through. It's a little chip over the top. Bounces to Hogg, so back they come for that penalty. Just petering out a little bit now, Philip, and Ireland are looking comfortable.
Yeah, it was a good idea by Paddy Jackson there. Maybe the kick just a little bit long, but he knew he had the penalty coming. This is important game time for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the RBS Six Nations man of the match is Jamie Heaslip.
The announcement that Jamie Heaslip as man of the match is met with general approval. The RBS Six Nations man of the match is the Irish captain for the day, Paul O'Connell. A very late call-off with a chest infection. But Heaslip has certainly led his side well, as you might expect, a player of his experience and calibre. Line out does not work, but well, eventually comes back to Ireland and to Paddy Jackson, and there is Heaslip. And into the final minutes of this match.